I'm going to kick this straight off by saying if motivation worked, you wouldn't be here. And let's sit in that a minute. I don't say it to be harsh. I say it because I've lived it too. You don't keep falling off because you're broken. You don't keep starting over because you're lazy. If motivation was the magic ingredient, you would have nailed this years ago. You've had motivation, right? January motivation, holiday motivation, breakup motivation, birthday motivation. You've had the fire, and yet you're still here, still asking yourself, why can't I just stay consistent? Why don't I have the discipline? And I want to talk about that properly because the answer isn't that you need a stricter plan. When women come to me and tell me that they can't stay consistent, what it usually means is I start strong and then life happens. A busy week, a bad night's sleep, an argument, a period, a work deadline, whatever it is. And suddenly the version of you who was on it disappears. And the old voice comes back in saying, see, this is why you can't do it. You just don't have the discipline. And I used to think that about myself. Like when I was bodybuilding, I was the most disciplined person that you could imagine. My food was weighed to the gram. I never missed sessions. I looked intense, focused. I looked controlled. From the outside, that looked like discipline. But what I was actually really good at was complying. Like I had structure imposed on me, like deadlines, show dates, a coach, very rigid environment. But the second that the environment disappeared, so did that version of me that looked disciplined. And that messed with my fucking head because I thought that discipline meant that you always felt strong and motivated and locked in. And what I learned later was that I hadn't built the standards, I'd built control. And control and standards feel very different. The problem is, most women are still waiting to feel like the kind of woman who follows through. Like they're waiting for the confidence to show up first. They're waiting for the right week or the perfect conditions to commit. They're waiting to feel organised and ready and energised. But real consistency feels pretty boring. It feels steady. It feels like doing the thing, even when your brain offers you five reasons not to. And the reason it feels so unstable right now isn't because you need more motivation. It's because everything is still up for negotiation. You negotiate with yourself constantly. Like, should I train? Maybe I'll just start Monday, or I'll skip this week and reset. When you haven't decided your standards, everything is up for debate, and debates will drain your energy. And there's no way you're going to feel motivated when your energy is through the floor. Standards will remove the debate. Like, I don't wake up and decide whether I'm brushing my teeth. It's done. That's who I am. And training became like that for me. And it's not because I'm obsessed or extreme, it's because I've decided that that's just a part of how I live. And that is a shift. And this is the part that most women skip. They want the calories and the macros and the workouts, but they don't build reflection. Inside my coaching, the thing that actually changes women isn't just the gym plan. It's the weekly check ins and the honest self reviewing, the habit tracking, and goals that go beyond what the scales say. And this is because awareness creates leadership. When you review your week properly, something changes and you stop thinking constantly, I messed up. And you start saying, oh, okay, that didn't work. What needs adjusting? Two missed workouts, cool. Why? Timing, energy, avoidance. You overate at dinner, okay. Were you under eating earlier? Were you stressed? Were you tired? This is adult energy and it is calm and reflective and you don't spiral. Consistency isn't about never wobbling, it's about how quickly you can recalibrate and continue moving forward. So let's talk about the uncomfortable part. If your mood controls your habits, your results will always feel fragile. I used to completely disappear when I felt overwhelmed. I'd tell myself that I needed to reset or that I'd lost momentum or whatever it was. And looking back, I just hadn't built the capacity to act when I was uncomfortable. And that isn't a discipline issue, it's emotional maturity. There are days that I train when I don't feel like it. And this is not me punishing myself. This is not a no excuses toxic way. It's more of a this is just what I do way. The version of you who shows up only when she feels good will feel unstable. The version of you who acts according to her standards feels powerful, and powerful feels calm. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of women who see themselves as the woman who always starts again. And when that's the identity, you will keep proving it to be true. It becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you start seeing yourself as the woman who adapts and adjusts and overcomes and moves forward, that changes everything. That woman still has bad weeks. She still overeats sometimes. She still misses a session occasionally, but she doesn't collapse. She just adjusts. She moves forward. And that identity builds self trust. And when you trust yourself, you stop panicking about the scales, you stop needing motivation, and you stop starting again every Monday. You just continue. So when you become the woman who just raises her standards, you don't feel hyped or motivated all the time, but you do feel solid. You can go on holiday and adjust. You can have a busy week and adjust. You can feel tired and still protect your baseline habits. You don't rely on shame or adrenaline or hype or false motivation. You rely on who you decided to be. And that feels steady and grown and powerful. And this is the part that most women overlook. They want the fat loss, they want the aesthetic change, but the thing that actually makes this stick is alignment. Clear standards, weekly reflection, structure that supports your life instead of controlling it. And that's exactly what we build inside Unbound. It's not just gym strength, it's not just nutrition, it's self leadership. Because once you stop negotiating with yourself, everything becomes easier. So if you're tired of always asking why you can't stay consistent, maybe it's time to stop chasing motivation and raise your standards instead.